I put it up as a filler video on my channel. I believe it was September 10th, 2010, actually. Was the first HoH SiS video called No One Needs Foundation Repair.
Then you should call HoH SiS. You want the JoJ.
They did whatever it took to get the JoJ. We care more about the JoJ than anything else.
And it went over so well, like way better than I ever would have expected. I thought it was just going to be something that would be completely ignored. You know, I didn't think anyone would really latch onto it like they did. But then it blew up, and I was like, all right, I guess I'll make another one. And then I made 2 more in this series, and that's when the shit kind of hit the fan. And I don't know how many people were aware of this at the time, but I was contacted by one of the people in the testimonial, and they threatened legal action against me.
Really?
And I had no choice but to delete the HoH SiS videos, and I was, had to stay a bit silent on the matter for the time being until that blew over. So, yeah, that was the videos were re-uploaded by other people, but with the names usually, censored, because at that point, the people who were involved in the video, most of them were aware of what I had done. So, yeah, just little dodged a bit of a bullet there. That whole situation blew over, but it was, if you're wondering why I've stayed away from those sources for a while, I still make callbacks to those videos, of course, but I've not made an original one using the foundation repair source material since.
What was now? I just find that I had no idea there was like a legal threat behind it, but how was, like, if I don't even know if you'd remember, but what was it like getting that call from that or getting in touch with that person? Did they understand? Did they even understand what the video?
Well, I was in contact with 2 of the people involved. One of them was well, it's really no secret. If you watch the original video, you know what their names are anyway. And it's been 10 years now, so it hardly matters. Ed, the guy who basically ran the company at the time, or ran the, he was like one of the foremen, I think. I forget his exact role, but he was actually a fan of the videos, but he was confused by it. He was a bit cautious of it. At first, he thought it was something that a competing foundation repair company had put me up to. He thought it was like, another company trying to like enact revenge on his company or something. Yeah, that's legit what he thought. And then he wasn't the one trying to sue me. He was just like, he kind of let it go. But the other guy, Wesley, he had his lawyer contact me through Facebook. And he was not a fan. And I can understand. There was that one, I think I made one video involving Wesley where I made him say some not so nice things. So he was like treating it as like a defamation case. But so, he did not see the funny aspect of it. And, I think those were the only 2 people who really who knew. I didn't have contact with the other. There were a total of 4 people in the HoH SiS video, and I only had contact with 2 of them.
As kind of like another thing that happened was in one of your other videos, it was a Tyler Stevens
Steven Tyler
YTP. Yes, Steven Tyler. And one of the jokes in that is that you sentence mixed him to say, call HoH SiS. As like a joke, which it's kind of like a joke that like, and then you had to make a response video to that video explaining people not to call.
It was, as a matter of fact, the don't call HoH SiS thing even predates that Steven Tyler edit, because that happened in, I want to say it was 2013. I don't remember, but yeah, basically I had fans who were calling the Home Savers Foundation repair number and pranking them. And so, this was a problem. that I, because hey, I'm basically the one responsible for this, so I had to take matters into my own hands there and like, listen guys, please don't do this. And so that kind of evolved into another running gag with my edits.
I don't think I would say that this was like kind of the biggest, I guess, kind of controversy surround. Would you call this I would say, I remember there was like Colgate was threatening legal action over Dr. Rabbit YTPs, which I'm not sure if that was true or not, but this is, I would say one of the few times I guess legal action was struck over YTP.
I've only heard that story secondhand, so I can't verify its authenticity, but apparently it involved Walrus Guy, who was one of the big poopers back in the day. And one of his I guess he was contacted by Colgate about one of his Dr. Rabbit edits, and he was forced to remove them. And yeah, I'm not sure, because I know that Walrus Guy he basically deleted all of his original content from his channel. His channel was, quite large at the time, and I don't think any of the original videos exist in their original form. They've been uploaded by other people, but his main channel doesn't have any of his like original, pre 2010 content, I would say. And if we want to talk about other legal issues, I've had I made some Michael Rosen edits, which I also became somewhat famous for. I didn't touch Michael Rosen as a source until 2011. But I made several Michael Rosen YouTube poops, editing to say all types of ridiculous stuff, some of it very inappropriate. And those videos got taken down in a copyright claim. I think it was in early 2018, I believe. So if you're wondering why none of my Michael Rosen edits are on my channel, that's the reason why. And
yeah, because I think his YouTube channel management kind of like switched and everything. This was around the COPPA thing, because all his videos kind of got hit with with the YouTube Kids stuff, because his poems technically are for kids. So
Correct.
like everything kind of got hit with YouTube Kids, and I guess like his channel kind of had a rebrand where everything was like kind of had like all the titles of his videos were like it would be like Michael Rosen poem title, and then it would have like in all caps for children. So I think like people are just trying to like cleanse the internet from the Michael Rosen videos, but like they got re-uploaded, which is kind of funny. But
yeah, I mean, and that's just the nature of YouTube, is people are always going to re-upload things after they're taken down. You can't, I don't know if you can, permanently delete something from YouTube. Like there's usually going to be someone somewhere who had it saved, and they're going to put it right back up again. So
with these edits, I have to say, like, I remember there would be times in like 2015 or 2016, probably like times when I was like probably too young to watch these videos, but I would just like binge these on my iPod back in the day, and it was just fantastic just going through your library, because everything you produced was like a gut buster for me, and still is. But what would you say was like, do you have any favorites, maybe some underrated ones that you just like had a fun time making and just always were like ones that you just think back of and just like, oh, that was a good edit?
So honestly, I love a lot of my commercial edits, but I can't say those are underrated, because some of them have like thousands and thousands of views. So I honestly, one of my favorites probably has been It's All Right Here at Your Fingertips, which ironically is also one of my most viewed videos, but it was still also one of the most fun to make, and it also broke from the tradition of me working with only short sources, because that video is like a half hour or 45 minutes long. And so I, sourced through a lot of, content there to get to the end result. And I had started working on a sequel to that video like 2 years ago, which maybe one day I'll finish it up. It got put on the back burner, but I do eventually plan to put it out at some point.
The fingertips one was like amazing. It was like, for anyone who hasn't seen it, it was like this kind of 80s or maybe I think it was 90s. This 90s video of like almost like a kid's introduction to computers and the internet, and just what you've done with that video is just spectacular. And just the jokes. A video like you mentioned, you usually just do commercials, but that's like different. That's a bit of a longer source. What was it like, the experience of making that?
At the time, the original video, The Kid's Guide to the Internet, had like been trending a few days prior, and I was like, wow, this looks like I could really make something out of this. And it was again a combination of the acting and just the general flexibility of the material really persuaded me to try to make something crazy out of it.
There was something about fragments or something? Ha, very funny.
Microsoft Internet Explorer came with our computer.
Or you can download the other crappy browser, Netscape Navigator.
I used the World Wide Web to search the archives of the Smithsonian Museum a few weeks ago. I also had to pee. Want to write a letter to President Clinton?
Is this like sending email? It is sending email.
I'm not really sure what email is.
But how do we even look up the White House?
You type www.com.
Okay.
I think that's one of the big things, is the feeling of the source content. Like certain sources have a feel to them where you can just you pick up on the level of awkwardness or something, and that's, if you watch a lot of my videos, you might notice there's kind of like a trend of me choosing like these awkward sources or either awkward sources or sources that are trying to be too serious. Like things that are trying to be too serious, I love poking fun at as well, because then you got guys who are like, have this big masculine voice and they're talking about serious things, and they just make them, it's like cock butt sex, Yeah. I love stuff like that. I think I always will. I'm always going to have that level of immaturity.
CS.
Yes.
When you need coffee, you want the brew done right the first time, right?
Yeah.
And you'd like to save a lot of money, right?
Uh-huh.
Then look no further than the Daily Grind Coffee Company. The Daily Grind Coffee Company of Ottawa provides Starbucks quality coffee at a Tim Hortons price. Each coffee is made automatically by machine with no human contact. You can find their machines at the Collab Space on Bongard Avenue, Vitality Therapy on Spratt Road and in Finley Creek, Rona Hardware on Maryville Road, the CrossFit Bytown Gym on Somerset Drive, and coming soon to the Oil Changers on Woodruff in February. And you can visit them online at thedailygrindcoffeecompany.ca. Are you going to try one of their coffees now?
Yeah, I'm going to get myself a cup of JoJ.
Now, I have a weird question. Is there any YTP that you've made that you've been disappointed with? And you've kind of were like, you didn't feel like you put 100% into it, but it's just still kind of there?
I would say that to some of my older ones. There are like you said earlier, there are some videos that have aged well, and there's videos that have not aged well, in my opinion. Especially some of my 2011 content. I started, after I realized that people really liked this, I started going super hard and just producing video after video. Like every week I was producing a new video, which is a far more frequent basis than I make videos now. But there were some videos back in the day which were just, not a whole lot of effort. I look back and then I'm like, yeah, this isn't memorable at all. God, this is like actually pretty terrible. Why did I put this up? But at the time I was trying to find the balance, I guess, between quality and quantity. And in YouTube land, I gotta be honest, quantity kind of tends to trump quality at times, because if if what I've noticed from even back in the day, I think to the algorithm, it still remained as true. YouTube will like you more the more you upload, and the less you upload, the less your stuff gets recommended.